Elodie had everything: wealth, luxury, and a glamorous Parisian life. From the outside, her days sparkled with the promise of endless possibilities, and her nights glittered with the lights of the city she called home. She was the envy of many, living in a world most could only dream of. Yet, beneath the surface, she felt a deep loneliness that no amount of money could cure. The silence in her lavish apartment echoed her longing for something more meaningful, something real. Despite being surrounded by beauty and comfort, Elodie's heart ached for true connection. What she truly longed for was genuine love, a partner who saw her, not her fortune. She yearned for someone who would cherish her laughter, understand her fears, and hold her close when the world felt too heavy. She wanted to be loved for who she was, not for what she owned. Every man she met seemed more interested in her bank account than her heart. Conversations quickly turned to her lifestyle, her possessions, and the privileges her wealth afforded her. The hope of finding someone sincere faded with each disappointing encounter. Dates felt like business deals, her emotions traded like stocks. The sparkle of romance was replaced by the cold calculations of status and gain. She felt herself drifting further from the love she so desperately sought. Tired of being a prize, she built walls around her heart, growing distant at every social event. The laughter and chatter around her felt hollow, and she found herself withdrawing, protecting her true self from those who only saw her as a trophy. She wondered if anyone around her was truly happy, or if love was just another transaction. The emptiness grew unbearable. She questioned whether anyone in her world even knew what real happiness or love felt like, or if they were all just playing roles in a never-ending performance. Elodie knew she needed a radical change. She realized that if she wanted something different, she would have to take a leap of faith and step away from the life she'd always known. She craved authenticity, even if it meant leaving everything behind. The thought of starting over was daunting, but the hope of finding real love gave her courage. Her search for real love was about to begin, a journey not just through the city, but into the depths of her own heart, where she hoped to finally discover the connection she had always dreamed of. One morning, Elodie made a bold decision. She would leave her privileged world behind. She swapped designer dresses for jeans, her luxury car for a metro pass, and moved into a modest apartment. Taking a job as a cafe waitress, she embraced anonymity and the freedom to be herself. Life became simpler, filled with small joys and real conversations. She hoped that, stripped of wealth, she might finally find someone who loved her for who she was. With hope in her heart, she stepped into her new life, ready for whatever came next. Elodie's experiment brought disappointment. Men from her new world like Mark the musician saw her as a solution to their problems. Men from her old world, like Antoine the lawyer, dismissed her for her modest lifestyle. Whether rich or poor, sincerity was rare. Love always seemed conditional. Each failed date deepened her disillusionment. She wondered if true selfless love even existed. No matter her disguise, she was either exploited or rejected. The world's greed and prejudice left her heart heavy with despair. Was she destined to be alone, forever searching for something real? Desperate for guidance, Elodie turned to the church, but even here she found disappointment. Priests who cared more for donations than her soul. One urged her to fund his projects, another charged for spiritual healing. Each encounter left her feeling more betrayed and alone. The very people she trusted for honesty proved just as greedy as the men she'd dated. Her faith in humanity crumbled. Even the sacred seemed corrupted by money. Elodie's hope for sincerity was nearly extinguished. Just as Elodie was about to give up, A cafe colleague mentioned a humble church led by Pastor David. Skeptical but desperate, she attended a service. Pastor David's quiet sincerity and compassion touched her deeply. She poured out her story, expecting judgment or another request for money. Instead, he simply listened, offering comfort and understanding. He spoke of unconditional love, a love that begins with God. He encouraged her to seek faith, to pray honestly, and to find her worth beyond wealth. For the first time, Elodie felt truly heard. A fragile hope flickered back to life. Inspired by Pastor David, Elodie embraced prayer and faith. One rainy afternoon, lost in thought, she accidentally struck a pedestrian with her car. The victim, Thomas, suffered a broken leg but would recover. Consumed by guilt, Elodie stayed at the hospital, praying for his healing and forgiveness. She feared her secret would be exposed. Heiress injures pedestrian would be a scandal. More than anything, she wanted to help Thomas as herself, not as a wealthy benefactor. In a moment of desperation, she devised a plan to stay close without revealing her identity. This accident, though tragic, felt like a turning point. She sensed destiny at work. Elodie resolved to help Thomas, no matter the cost. Disguised in a borrowed lab coat, Elodie visited Thomas as a trainee. She moved quietly through the hospital corridors, her heart pounding with every step, hoping no one would question her presence. The sterile scent of the ward mixed with her nervous anticipation, but her determination to see Thomas gave her courage. She brought him comfort, books, juice, and heartfelt conversation. Each small gesture was a lifeline, a reminder that he was not alone in his struggle. Elodie listened to his worries and shared gentle laughter, creating a safe haven in the midst of uncertainty. Thomas, a humble carpenter, was grateful for her kindness, calling her his angel in white. Her visits became the highlight of his days, bringing light into the sterile hospital room. He found hope in her presence, and his spirits lifted with every smile she offered. Their bond deepened with each visit, built on honesty of spirit if not of circumstance. They spoke openly about their fears and hopes, finding comfort in the trust that blossomed between them, even as Elodie kept her true identity hidden. They shared dreams, beliefs, and stories, each finding solace in the other's presence. Laughter and quiet moments wove a tapestry of connection, making the hospital room feel less lonely and more like a sanctuary. Elodie spoke of her search for meaning and her newfound faith, careful not to reveal her secret. She described the questions that kept her awake at night and the hope she'd recently discovered, all while guarding the truth about who she really was. Thomas revealed his own quiet faith and love for simple things. He spoke of the peace he found in his work, the beauty of wood grain, and the comfort of small joys, like sunlight streaming through a window or the sound of laughter. Their connection grew, unburdened by wealth or status. In that small room, titles and backgrounds faded away, replaced by genuine affection and understanding. Yet Elodie's conscience grew heavy. The weight of her deception pressed on her, and she wondered how long she could keep up the charade without hurting Thomas. She knew she couldn't build love on a lie. The fear of losing his trust haunted her, but she also longed for the freedom of honesty. The truth would have to come out. Elodie realized that only by revealing her secret could she hope for a future built on trust, no matter the risk. As Thomas prepared to leave the hospital, Elodie knew she had to confess. She shed her disguise, sat by his bedside, and revealed everything. Her true identity, the accident, her wealth, and her search for real love. Tears streamed down her face as she waited for his response. Thomas listened, then smiled gently. He told her he loved her heart, not her status. her honesty only deepened his admiration. Their love, finally free of secrets, could truly begin. With the truth revealed, Elodie and Thomas's relationship blossomed. They found joy in the simplest moments, like morning walks in the park and quiet evenings at home. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day, built on a foundation of trust and mutual respect. They built a life rooted in faith, humility, and generosity. Together, they prayed, volunteered, and supported each other's dreams. Their shared values became the cornerstone of their relationship, guiding them through both good times and challenges. Their wedding was a simple, joyful ceremony in Pastor David's church, surrounded by those who mattered most. The intimate gathering was filled with heartfelt vows, tears of joy, and the warm embrace of family and friends. They used Elodie's wealth to help others, founding a charity for young artisans and those in need. Their efforts brought hope and opportunity to many, creating a ripple effect of kindness and compassion in their community. Their homes soon echoed with the laughter of children. They cherished every moment with their growing family, creating a nurturing environment filled with love, laughter, and learning. Elodie had finally found her treasure, not in riches but in love, family, and purpose. Her heart swelled with gratitude for the life they had built together, a life rich in meaningful connections and shared experiences. Her journey proved that true love is found in honesty, faith, and the courage to be vulnerable. They faced their fears together, supporting each other through every trial and triumph, their love growing deeper with each challenge overcome. The fairy tale she'd always wanted was real, because it was built on truth. Their love story was not without its struggles, but it was these very struggles that made their bond unbreakable and their happiness genuine. In the end, Elodie's heart was full, her search complete. She had discovered that the greatest treasures in life are not material, but the moments of connection and the love shared with those who matter most. She had discovered the greatest gift of all, a love that was truly heaven-sent. This love brought her a sense of peace and fulfillment that she had never known before. And so, in a world obsessed with appearances, Elodie and Thomas lived simply, loving deeply, and giving generously. Their lives became a beacon of hope and inspiration for others, showing that true happiness comes from within. Their story became a testament to the power of faith and the beauty of a sincere heart. The end.